Squirrel emergency here. The neighbor next door, who I do not know, just cut down all the trees in their backyard where all the squirrel nests are.
Why wouldn't you know your neighbors? Boy, that's really out of character.
They were here all morning. It was very, very
crazy
loud.
old lesbian like you.
Now I don't know what's going to happen with all my squirrels.
Yeah, he's vice presidential material.
Great, Chaz.
Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you.
Or your box of wine.
That you did before November 5th.
Hey, give me that box of wine.
That you did.
Don't take that box from me.
And you have the same.
Give me that box of wine.
To engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
Wait.
Conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Those who enter our country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law. And because we live in an age where terrorists are challenging our borders, we cannot allow people to pour into the U.S. undetected, undocumented, and unchecked.
Wow. He's asking how Democrats can pull the plug from the corrupt ruling class and reconnect with real Americans. He says this: the party would have to abandon the conceit that their opponents are either bigots or stupid. And they'd have to do
here at NEK-TV.
Yes, sir. All right, here we go.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Put on the brakes, put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages. Hoofties, poofties, bong-eyed heifers, right and left-wing wackos, woodchucks and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, which is what they call this area of Vermont, because it's a twisted area. They all drink twisted tea. And let's see, who are we? Where are we? Oh, yeah, okay. Let's get this out of the way. All right, you are watching. Thanks, Toadster. You're watching It's News to Us. We're Newport Tolders TV News. Get off my lawn. Hell now, brown cow, as the locals say. Anyways, and here's the cadaver in chief, but only for another month and a half or so. And let's hope he doesn't start a friggin' nuclear war between now and then. You geezer. Guy doesn't know whether he crapped his pants or what. And they're still letting him run around the White House like he knows what he's doing. This is just insane, man. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. Oh, he's too senile to run for office. He's too senile to be prosecuted, but, you know, he's okay to be president. And there he is there. Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn! Give him a Thorazine suppository. That'll calm his butt down. And let's hope that the new president ushers in an era of peace and prosperity, not wars and austerity, because, you know, hey man, he's got a heavy lift ahead of him. I'm telling you, these guys left a big pile of crap on the way out, and they're it's getting worse by the day. And if you want to see, oh yeah, he pardoned his bagman son. Well, what he did was he pardoned his own crime family's ass. And but if you can see, if you want to go see the stuff, thanks, Toddster. Right from the horse's mouth, was all the laptop stuff is on this website. I think is this the one? Yeah. Biden Laptop Media, MarcoPoloUSA.org. It's all there, and of course the FBI covered it up. Now, you know, for those of you watching on Bluetooth and whatever, you can check out these websites to get some real news, because Lord knows you're not going to get it from any of the other websites. Keep it there for a second, Todd. There's more here, right there, and there's more here. We got a ton of them, boys and girls, and there's more there too. So you will not be bereft of news now. So anyways, in the booth we have the big guy this week.
Yes.
Todd Pronto. He's all over social media. You can see him. Oh my God.
I'm here by process of elimination.
Yeah. Well, he does run the place. I mean, it's you know, it's not a heavy lift, but it involves a lot of responsibility. He's taken us from this crappy little rented studio behind a Comcast building to our own building, and we have quite the studio here. I mean, for a little dinky one horse outfit, man. And just in time for people to start cutting their cable cords. Hopefully the legislature, somebody will come up with a different funding method, or we should take them to court and prove that, you know, we didn't know, nobody could foresee the net coming along, which would blow regular TV out of the water, so that if people have Comcast cable or net, they should be assessed a fee. I mean, Lord knows I'm getting assessed a fee. I pay $120 a month for nothing but stupid emails, man.
Oh, isn't that crazy?
It's nuts. $120 a month? Are you kidding me? And I have a desktop, so I purposely have a desktop, okay? Because I'll tell you what, I don't like radiation. I don't like the EMR, RFR, any of that stuff. So I keep the laptop, the tabletop there, the desktop, and that way if I want to watch something on the computer, after watching it for an hour at the desk, I'm all like, that's about enough. And but anyways, you can see Todd, and you can book him for engagements too. He's he'll do folk and Americana music on his own, and weddings, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs,
funerals,
yeah, circumcisions. We have to call up Todd, man. And he also has his own show every Sunday morning?
Yeah, Sunday morning at 9 a.m.
Tell us about what the rest of your social media presence.
Yeah, so it's on YouTube and Facebook Live. It's called Coffee with Todd. It's live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. And I play music, and I talk to guests, and I go out and film stuff. It's good times. What's this?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Government
Captain
gangs.
Salty.
What's that?
Captain Salty still has videos up on YouTube.
Yeah, that YouTube channel will just be there as long as YouTube, because nobody can log in and take it down.
Yeah, forever and ever until the power goes out.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, what's going on, Todd?
I don't know. Lots of stuff.
Yeah, what are we here for? Who am I? Where am I?
What is this?
Yeah. like Admiral Stockdale said. You know, it's funny that Admiral Stockdale, the guy who ran as Ross Perot's vice presidential candidate in 1980 or something. I don't know.
Mid 80s probably. I was a kid. I remember it.
Yeah, 80, 84. Anyways, Admiral Stockdale had an interesting story. He was one of the guys. He was a pilot, fighter pilot, and he was in a jet during the Gulf of Tonkin incident, the one that got us into Vietnam. He was off the coast of Vietnam, and he said that he flew so low that the sea spray was friggin' on his windshield. He had to use his little windshield wiper, and he didn't see any boats or any gunboats or nothing. You know, the whole thing was a frickin' lie. And speaking of lie, camera 2, Todd, please. Right now, they are grilling Kash Patel, and I promised you folks that after I read the book, I would do a book report on government gangsters. And this is the reason that the weasels don't want him to run the FBI, right? And I'll go through the stuff that I happen to write down, because this is what thanks, Todd. This is what I used to do when I was a kid. And I went to Voc Tech School with a lot of other kids who had learning disabilities. And they couldn't read well, or they couldn't comprehend what they were reading or whatever. So I would go through the learning activity packages and read the books and do the stuff, and then get up and give an oral report. And it helped out me because I got extra credit, lots of it. And it helped out the other kids who, you know, had poor verbal and comprehension skills. So anyways, the book starts off with Kash. He goes into work for, I don't know, somebody. First he was what do you call it? He was a government, a public defender, or first he was a prosecutor, because he comes from an Indian family. His parents had come over here from Mumbai or something, and he went to school in Brooklyn or something, and then went to college and friggin' top of his class and this and that. Very bright guy, and so then he got a job at the what do you call it, prosecutor's office, and then he got a job with the defender's office and stuff. And somehow he was hooked up with SOCOM. That's a little later in the book. SOCOM is Special Operations Command and something or other, but going after terrorists. That was his job, right? And he did this during the Obama administration, right, Toddster? And this was when one of his jobs was to investigate the Benghazi thing on September 11th, 2012, when these Al Qaeda guys came ripping into the U.S. Embassy and killed the ambassador named Stevens, and his detail, his his bodyguards and stuff, and a bunch of CIA people too. So it was Kash's job to gather evidence and prosecute him. And what did they do, Todd? He finds out the truth, and Obama, that lying friggin' Negro, and his wicked witch Hillary, they tried to claim that it was a Muslim video. Remember? It was these people were angered. They just got totally angered by a video that some guy in Los Angeles made that made fun of Muhammad. And Kash is all like, well, wait a minute, no, it's not what happened. And so he prosecuted the terrorists there. And then he prosecuted the Uganda bombing terrorists a year before that even too. I guess he knew Uganda pretty well because his father, I guess his father or his mother or both his parents or something, had lived in Uganda before they came to the U.S. And so anyways, yeah, he was embedded with SOCOM, and he had to decide, he got the evidence, and they decided whether to, when they found the bad guys, whether to drone them, raid them, or capture them. And it was gathering evidence at the Maine Department of Justice under that goon, the FBI goon, Comey, and Obama's wingman, Holder and McCabe. And he found out that these guys were gangsters, frauds, and hypocrites. And they prosecuted only one of the terrorists, while the file sat and gathered dust, Toddster. And there was nothing he could do, you know?
Nothing.
No. He'd sit back and take it. So he and Hillary wouldn't do anything either. So that's where he learned about the Peter Principle. You can look that up, boys and girls. The Peter Principle says that you get promoted when you screw up. The more you screw up, the more you get promoted in government.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. And so, hence we have a government full of liars, hypocrites, and and weasels.
Perfect.
Yeah, and the selective lies. Brennan, that weasel Brennan, he lied about spying on the staffers. Remember that? He got hauled up before Congress, and they asked him, have you been spying on our staffers? Because if you spy on the staffers, who does all the work for all the congressmen and senators, Todd?
Well, not the congressmen and senators.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of which, God bless him, but Pee Wee Welch actually came out and said today, Todd, that Trump should get the friggin' staff he wants.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. That friggin' blew my mind, man.
I know. Didn't he also condemn Biden for pardoning Hunter? I'm pretty
think
sure
so,
he
yeah.
did. Yeah, I think he did.
For 4 years. I'm not going to pardon Hunter. Nope.
Nobody is above the law.
Nobody is above the law. And everybody's got to pay their fair share in taxes, too.
Oh.
Except for Joe and Jill and Hunter.
Well, they have immunity.
Yeah. When they get caught cheating the IRS, they just, pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me. So Brennan got caught lying on spying on the staffers. And Clapper, too. Clapper said that the NSA, there was no data collection on U.S. citizens. Yet who gets thrown in jail for lying to the so-called wrongly formed, illegally formed January 6th committee, Toddster?
I'm not sure.
Peter Navarro did time
yeah.
in a federal prison.
Right.
And in Miami, and Steve Bannon did federal time down in Danbury.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
He just got out. Yeah, he was teaching. Oh man, he's got some fine words to say about the prisoners down there. He said these guys have more honor and they have more honor and scruples than any of the people he knows up on the hill, on Capitol Hill. It's wild, man. So yeah, so they get busted for contempt, along with 1,265 people who got misdemeanors on January 6th just for hanging around. Another old guy he's doing time for just hanging out in front of an abortion clinic. Another old lady's doing time for a misdemeanor walking through the Capitol. Tina Peters, a county clerk in Colorado, she's doing time for having the temerity to actually look inside a friggin' voting machine, Todd. How dare she?
Does she rip it apart or something?
she opened it up and had some forensic computer expert look at it. You can't do that. It's a secret. The voting machines are secret.
Did it have one of those tags on it, like a pillow? Do not remove this tag.
Yeah, what do you in for? I took off the mattress tag and cut it into 1,000 pieces. And so anyways, he started becoming a little disillusioned, let's say, Kash Patel did. And so what did they do? They sicked the Washington Post reporter David Ignatius on him, and they leaked to him that Kash was under investigation. And he wasn't, but that's what they do. I mean, this is what they're doing to Trump's nominees, like Peter Hegseth. Oh, he was drunk. Like years ago, like nobody in the Army drank during a divorce, a nasty divorce 10 years ago, Todd?
No,
never happened. His mother was on Fox News this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah, I guess she wrote a scathing email telling him to straighten up and fly right, and then she realized what she had done. This was 8 years ago, so she retracted it, and now they're trying to hold it against her, saying, look, even his own mother went after him. You believe it? It's crazy. And so the Benghazi and the Syria terrorists went free. And who's the big enemy for the incoming administration, Todd? White supremacists.
Wait, they're the big enemy?
Yeah, they became the enemy. Remember General Milley? They hauled Milley up before Congress, and he said he had to read about white rage, and what's his name? That weasel who runs the FBI now. They said, oh well, what's his name? Oh, damn it, Christopher Wray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he runs the FBI now. And they keep saying, well, he's a Trump appointee. Well, no, not really. You know who told Trump to appoint him as head of the FBI, Todd? Chris Christie.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah. Talk about a backstabber, that friggin' weasel. So, he said that the biggest threat to this country was DVEs. Domestic violent extremists. They are the biggest enemy, and they have to be watched 99% of the time because they're domestic violent extremists, and they're all white too. And so anyway, meanwhile, Antifa's out there looting and burning cities and stuff. No problem there. Billions of dollars in damage, and I don't know, 12, 20 people killed during the Summer of Love. Yeah, come on. They're okay because, see, they're lefties, man. They get off scot-free. So anyways, Kash Patel said that a lot of this could be avoided just by changing the Justice Manual guidebook. The Attorney General could change it overnight and stop the night raids on the nonviolent people, like they did with Roger Stone. They went into his, remember, they raided his house at something like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And they even had SWAT people in the canal out in back of his house fighting off alligators and stuff. Roger Stone, whose wife was deaf, an old guy. I mean, he's older than me, for crying out loud. Yeah, it's just nuts. And they went after the MyPillow guy too. The FBI just rolled up to him and took away his phone with no warrant or nothing, Todd.
Oh, really? I knew they were after him, but I didn't know that story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They took away his phone, and the IRS went after him, saying that he couldn't have his operators work from home because they were private contractors and they had to come in and work from an office. It's just crazy. But that's okay, you know. There's no selective prosecutions. Oh, hell no. That's just a right-wing talking point, mister.
He was really critical of the Dominion voting machines, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what got him on their radar.
All the voting machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. He still is, too, you know. Why is it they got, I don't know, 80 million people in France, they can have the results the following morning? We had the results, basically the results were in most precincts by 10 o'clock or midnight this election. Because a lot of them had cleaned up their act. But then again, you got a couple counties in California that just came in today.
Today? Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I know Arizona took like what, 2 days or something.
Oh yeah. It took these counties in California a full month. Yeah. Oh,
Did
well,
it make a difference?
I don't know. We just keep counting the votes until they come out right, you know? Yeah, it's crazy. So stop the night raids. Have bond for people for misdemeanors and stuff. And he says he wants to prosecute leakers. Well, that's the thing. You know, if you were entrusted, first of all, they classify everything so that nothing gets out there, which we're supposed to know about. And they classify everything. And then they selectively leak stuff to their a few newspaper friends. And, you know, and a lot of it is false. Yeah, like the Biden laptop. And then stop the censors, like the 51 intelligence offers that said Hunter Biden's laptop had all the earmarks of Russian intelligence. And when they found out, they did a survey, it said that if people knew about that, they would have voted for Trump instead of Biden. And the DOJ memos are not laws. We got to get rid of that stuff. And like they did with Obama. Obama had his Department of Justice come out with a memo. Remember I made fun of it at the time in 2016? I said, Bathroom Billy wants to see your Willie. Obama came out, his Department of Justice came out and said that men could use the women's bathroom as long as they thought that they were women. So consequently, we have men ogling women in their bathrooms and locker rooms. It wasn't a law. It wasn't put forth by anybody who was elected by we the people. No, it was just a DOJ thing. Boom. Yeah. I, Obama J. Obama, hereby say that it's okay for men to be women. And so that's got to stop. So then, in 2016, along comes the Russiagate, where they just made this stuff up out of whole cloth to try and take down Donald Trump. Oh, he was in a hotel room in Moscow with hookers, and they peed on him and stuff. Can you believe it? No, none of us did. So Cash and Devin Nunes subpoenaed the documents because the documents don't lie, but witnesses do. And they got the FISA applications. Remember Carter Page? They got a warrant for Carter Page and the Steele dossier, and Fusion DPS, the DNC, and used Perkins Coie, gave them millions of dollars to fabricate this evidence from the Hillary campaign. And they say that Trump conspired. He asked them, every one of them, did Trump conspire, collude, or coordinate with the Russians in any way? And every witness that got hauled up in their little secret chamber there said no. Well, if Trump didn't conspire, collude, or coordinate anything with the Russians, why are you spreading around this story? Remember, Peter Strzok said that he didn't like the smelly Walmart people. They were Trump voters. So you could smell them when you went into a Walmart in Virginia. because these people are better than we are. So, and then they hide facts that could exonerate people, like Carter Page. When they got a FISA warrant against Carter Page, they just forgot to say that he was a CIA asset and he had worked with the CIA before. Oops, did we forget to mention that? Oh, we forgot to mention that. So he really is like a patriotic American, and he had worked for nothing for our CIA overseas. Oh, geez, pshaw. We must have overlooked that one, Todd.
It happens.
Yeah, it's crazy. Happens all the time. And then remember that Michael Sussman, the Clinton lawyer, he spread this Alpha Bank story, and Hillary's State Department, bloody Gina Haspel, the CIA head, classified 40% of the documents are still classified to this day. You know why they're classified? That's why they want the documents from Trump's basement in Mar-a-Lago, because if those documents see the light of day, it's gonna give them a big ass black eye like you read about, and they don't want that. Well, hopefully Kash Patel will tear him a new one. Yeah, and Schiff every night, Rachel Maddow. You know, she's getting something like $20-30 million a year, and she only works like Monday nights, Todd.
Really? She's getting that much?
Yeah, it's crazy. She's getting crazy money.
Damn.
I wonder how long, though. I think there's going to be a little reorganizational shuffle up there.
Let's see, MSNBC, right?
Yeah. Comcast is going to give them the boot, I think.
XNBC?
Yeah.
Isn't Elon going to buy it?
I think he's got enough headaches.
Yeah, I think it was Joe Rogan that tried to convince him to buy it, though.
No.
Well, as a joke. I mean, not seriously. He shared it on Twitter.
It would be much more trouble than it's worth.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had the Alpha Bank, and Schiff came out every night saying, "Oh, I've seen the evidence. I can't mention it it's classified, but trust me, I've seen the evidence," said old pencil neck Adam Schiff, night after night after night. But you know what? Those of us who've known these people have been lying since before the Kennedy assassination in '63, those of us who knew that they were just trying to take down Trump. And if they had a reason to take down Trump, that means that, that means that he must have scared them pretty damn good, and he was worth being president. Yeah. And New York Times, remember this, the reporter Goldman, he got a Pulitzer Prize for writing about this stuff, which was a complete lie. It's like, did he have to give back the Pulitzer Prize? I mean, it's like, what, $200,000 or something?
Oh, I don't know.
It's crazy. And then the Mueller special counsel, he didn't even look at Cash's documents. And then get this, Attorney General Bill Barr, the guy who's supposedly on Trump's side, another rump swab that the old-time Liz Cheney Republicans foisted on Trump, right? Bill Barr, he hid all this evidence that could have exonerated Trump. He knew about the laptop a year before the election, Toddster.
Really?
Yeah. With friends like that, who needs enemies, huh?
Huh.
So the FBI covered for Joe and Hunter and the Chinese money. I mean, they got something like 30-40 million from the Chinese. We'll never find out about that, though. Well, we did. They, what's his face? Comey's, not Comey. Comer. His little committee has dug up all the suspicious activity bank reports and found and tried to find the trail of money. He'd found a lot of it, the Biden cash. I got $3 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. She didn't get any sanctions like Putin did. The Chinaman gave him, some Chinaman gave him, I don't know, a giant diamond. It's just crazy. And that's the biggest thing, is because when you take gifts from a foreign government, you're supposed to register under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA. And old Hunter never did. Funny that. So, boom. He's free now. Free man in the morning. Yep.
He was going to, but he thought he was supposed to be visiting Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, yeah. She died, though.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Poor Farrah. When I was a kid, every guy had her poster in his room.
Yeah?
Yeah, that one of her in a bathing suit. Oh, it's classic. And, yeah, she made her debut on Logan's Run. And that hot little outfit. Oh, yeah. So anyways, so then what do they do? What do they do? They, after rigging the election in August of 2022, they decide to raid Mar-a-Lago. They've never raided a president's house, an ex-president's house, ever. But you know what? We're going to do it because it's Trump and we can. Joe Bite Me, this senile old geezer, he supposedly wrote an order saying that he rescinded Trump's immunity. He can't do that. That's like saying, you know, I'm rescinded your rights to free speech, or I rescinded your right to keep and bear arms. You know, he rescinded his rights so that therefore you can just bust into his apartment at his house at 5 a.m. But they did. So anyways, Kash Patel hooks up with Congressman Devin Nunes from California, and he was on the oversight committee. And what they did this thing called fencing, right? Him and Trey Gowdy, where they would fence off the money, Todd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Congress, they would shut down the money. They'd fence off the money and withhold it until and unless they, the FBI or whatever, produce the documents. And lo and behold, man, money is the mother's milk of politics. And when they fenced off the money, that was the end of that. They clammed right up, don't you know? So he says, this is the remedies. He said, we ought to overhaul the special counsel's office, no more grudge matches, decentralize the FBI out of Washington, because let's face it, there's a reason why they bring all these cases in Washington, D.C. to court in D.C. is because 96% of the people in D.C. are Democrats, hardcore Democrats. And they vote Democrat every election. So he wants to decentralize the FBI and send the field agents back out into the field where they belong to fight crime. Imagine that. Are you going to get sent to Anchorage, Alaska? Oh, no. Or Omaha. Who wants to go to Omaha? It's crazy. He should have a small district only, and move the headquarters, that's for damn sure, get them out of there, and refocus the mission. The original mission in the 1920s was to go after real physical threats. They need more oversight. He's going to shrink the general counsel's office, no more investigate and prosecute. Only the DOJ should prosecute, only the DOJ. The FBI shouldn't be prosecuting anybody. It's not their job. It's not their authority. I would think the Supreme Court would have ruled on this by now, but they haven't. And then reform the FISA laws. They should pair an FBI agent with a DOJ prosecutor. No more manufacturing crimes. No more rubber stamping FISA warrants. At a 99% approval rating. That means you go before the secret FISA court and you want a warrant to search somebody's house or tap their phone, you get a 99% approval rating. 99% of the time they give you your warrant. And there's no oversight, there's nobody looking at anything. And he said they should add court reporters. And last, that all warrants should be checked, double-checked, by the White House or Attorney General lawyers, who serve for short terms, who don't get fat and complacent, lazy. Anyways, the second part of the book, he goes after Vindman, that weasel, that Ukrainian weasel, and Eric Chiamarella. Remember, I was not allowed to say Eric Chiamarella's name on my YouTube show, Todd?
No, I don't remember that, actually.
Yeah, well, they did. They canned me. And
just for saying the name?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Nobody could, because he was ex-CIA, but he was still, attached to something or other. You couldn't mention his name. He lives with his parents, I think, in Connecticut somewhere. But anyways, that's Kash Patel's gig. And, oh boy. We got some, the Inspector General's report came out. Excuse me. And I actually went online and read part of it. Federal agencies, this is October 3rd, but it just came out. Oh man, I don't have the website, but you can find it, okay? Federal agents tasked with protecting the U.S. borders have allowed illegal border crossers to enter the U.S. without any vetting and board domestic flights, a new DHS IG's report found. The 37-page document, published on September 30th, may be heavily redacted, but it paints a clear picture of the potential risks posed to Americans, thanks to the willingness of Customs and Border, Immigration and Customs, and the Transportation Security Agency to admit non-citizens without ID into the country. If you or I are going to fly anywhere, you got to take off your shoes. They give you a cavity search, they strip you down, go through your luggage, pull you apart. But, mister, if you're from Haiti, Venezuela, Cuba, countries that hate us in the Middle East, they just have been letting you right in. And we're talking between 10 and 20 million of these suckers who have cost us 150 billion plus just in the past year. Oh, that's okay, though. You got the money, right? Government gives you a cell phone with unlimited calling. They give you food stamps, vouchers. You can go down and stay in a swanky hotel in New York City, can't you, Todd?
The last hotel I stayed at in Manhattan was not swanky, but it had a nice view.
Yeah, I bet it wasn't cheap either.
No, it was not. It was on the Lower East Side. It was like, this is in like 2017 or 18 when I played down there, and it was like $200 then. And it was about the size of the office I'm in right now. The bed filled up 90% of the room. You could just barely walk around the sides of it.
Yeah, but that's okay. The Roosevelt Hotel is packed with peanuts, these people, and they're stabbing and beating, and it's just crazy. And then you got your regular nuts, and when somebody like Danny Penny, the Marine Corps veteran, tried to stop this guy from attacking people on a subway train, they arrested him because Al Sharpton came up with the Rent-A-Riot people. They hadn't charged him with anything, and then when the black people came down and started demonstrating, they charged him even though they hadn't got the toxicology reports in yet. It's crazy. Just for holding him down on the floor, he was conscious when he left the subway. He was fine. It's nuts, man. Anyways, under current processes, you can look up this document if you want. CBP and ICE cannot ensure they're keeping high-risk non-citizens without IDs. TSA can ensure the vetting, blah, blah, blah. Federal law deems non-citizens without ID inadmissible to the country. So they're breaking laws left and right. That's okay. I'm Joe Young Biden. Young Biden, I'm going to come in and vote for Young Biden. That's what they say at the border. Young Biden said I could come. Well, Trump told Claudia Sheinbaum, the head of Mexico, that she'd better stop these caravans like right away. And she came out and screamed bloody murder last week, Todd. Said she wasn't going to stop nothing, man. And lo and behold, a couple days went by. What happened? She stopped the stuff because she didn't want Trump to put a tariff on her junk. Neither agency could determine how many millions of seeking entry each year entered without ID and whose self-reported bioinformation was accepted. Oh, okay. No fingerprints, no nothing. And they found that all these kids they let in with their sponsors, they didn't take fingerprints from the sponsors or nothing. I just heard a ding-dong. That's probably Brian.
I'll just sneak out and get Brian while you keep rolling if you want.
Okay. Yeah, so already the system has paved the way for several dozens of illegal boarders who appear on the terror watch list to be permitted entry into the U.S. despite being considered high-risk individuals. Okay, I'm not going to belabor the point. We know about this. The OIG report came to light shortly after Deputy Director of ICE and the senior official performing the duties of Director Patrick Leichler admitted in a letter that more than 647,000 non-citizens who have been convicted or suspected of homicide, sexual assault, or other violent crimes, along with various offenses, are not in his agent's custody. Okay, no problem there. And here's another thing. They keep saying, "Oh, Trump's going to come in. He's going to get retribution. He's going to do his own lawfare." Well, no. This is from Julie Kelly. She's a crackerjack reporter doing the work that the other reporters won't do. This is from November 30th. An estimated $500 million. $500 million. That's $500 million spent by the Department of Justice over the past 4 years to pursue Donald Trump and his supporters demands accountability and consequences. After enduring nearly a decade of torment at the hands of hyper-partisan, unaccountable prosecutors and judges, Trump appears poised to make good on his promise to hold government officials responsible for destroying the public trust in the legal and judicial system. Let's see, but ever since his victory, many anti-Trump pundits turned a blind eye to the vengeful weasels of Biden's department are predictably demanding a lawfare ceasefire on the baseless assumption that American people want to move on. Let's see. McCarthy. Oh, he's a weasel. He's on Fox News. Let's see. Posted a column, tisk plans to investigate the incoming president, but members of the January 6th Unselect Committee and the DOJ's ongoing prosecutors of Jan 6 protesters. Anyways, it gets better here. To my knowledge, McCarthy has never spent a day in a D.C. courtroom to see firsthand how assistant U.S. attorneys and federal judges systematically deprive the January 6 defendants their due process rights, such as protecting their right to a fair trial before an impartial jury. Does McCarthy have a good explanation as to how the DOJ can boast a 100% conviction rate in the J6 trials in Washington, other than the presence of Trump-hating Democrats on every panel? As far as Jack Smith, McCarthy didn't bother a single court hearing anything. Of course not. Let's see. According to congressional testimony last year by Stephen D'Antuono, the head of the Washington FBI field office, there was a heated internal battle as to the necessity for the raid, the Mar-a-Lago raid. And McCarthy, how fresh in hell is that obstruction? Okay. Oh, and let's not forget how McCarthy swooned over the televised performance by Cassidy Hutchinson in June 2022. He described her testimony as compelling, spellbinding, and devastating for Trump. They said things will never be the same. But her outlandish story about an alleged confrontation between Trump and a security detail inside the limo when he supposedly went up front and grabbed the wheel and wanted him to turn around and go to the Capitol. Remember that? Yeah, right. That story had been completely debunked. Every White House employee, including the limo driver, told investigators it never happened. In short, Cassidy very likely committed perjury at the direction of Liz Cheney. Oh, a Cheney? A lion Cheney? So the country's supposed to just let go after her false account intentionally deceived the public about the president's conduct as part of a congressional witch hunt that cost at least $30 million? $30 million. We got the money, no problem. To that point, adding to a list of excuses move on, he said the country's enormous fiscal challenges. Oh yeah, well, we can't do that. One has to safely assume the figure would be as much, if not worth, the $50 million, easily bringing the total amount to $100 million. What about the 4-year investigation prosecution of the Jan 6 defendants that Merrick Garland called one of the most complex and resource-intensive investigations in our history? And they still haven't found the pipe bombers who left bombs at the damn DNC and RNC headquarters. Oh, we're there, FBI for you. The federal D.C. court docket on any given day is monopolized by proceedings for the January 6th defendants. Okay. He's back. I can't hear you, though.
I turned my microphone off.
That'll do it.
So now that I'm back, you've got about 4 minutes left.
Oh, okay. Anyways.
Did you miss me?
Yeah. Oh, how could I miss you when you won't go away? Let's see. How does ending lawfare get $500 million taxpayers dollars blown by the Biden-Garland DOJ to prosecute enemies of the Democratic Party? Trump and congressional Republicans are well advised to ignore entreaties by McCarthy and his ilk to turn the other cheek. The crusade or terror inflicted by this DOJ cannot end without consequences for those responsible. And it has to. You have to punish people because, you know, sometimes the carrot just don't work. You need the stick. There's a good article in here, and I won't have time to go over the whole thing, but it says, in Chicago, locals say illegal immigrants are favored. This is a long-form article from the Epoch Times. You can read it online. And there's all the Venezuelans, man, on the gang. They have a name for their gang. I forget what they call them, but it sounds something like trendy arugula. Because maybe that's what they eat all the time, is that trendy arugula stuff. That's what Michael Dukakis said would, no, maybe it was John Kerry. He said the farmers have to switch to growing arugula. Oh, yeah. Some question why illegal immigrants are getting scarce resources that local citizens can't access. Oh, sure. And they're even giving them free cars from the impound lot, Toddster.
Sweet.
Yeah. And they don't have driver's license. They don't need to take a driver's test. This is getting insane. You know this is going to stop on day one when Trump gets in there. This is going to stop. I got nothing against them Venezuelans. He pointed to a homeless woman. She'd been a resident of Hyde Park her entire life. She's a citizen, fell on bad luck. She'll be sleeping outside tonight. If she were a Venezuelan, she'd show up at the entrance to a luxury hotel on Lake Michigan, taken right in. They're given everything. When I need rent assistance, I can't get it. And a Venezuelan, no problem. This is a sanctuary city, yet my people live in poverty. If a black man has an old felony conviction, when he goes to apply for benefits, they say, sorry, you got a prior felony. Yet thousands of illegals come here with no background check. Who knows what they did back home? Yet they're signed up right away. And nowadays they don't teach the basics in our school. Our children haven't been taught to become men and women or husband and wives. The city's giving housing vouchers to illegal migrants and placing them in apartments at $55 a day, while black citizens are struggling on their existence. And he said this Morris Anderson, had a once thriving business, has declined by 60% after the migrant arrival. The Venezuelans hang out at the Home Depot waiting to be hired by my competitors to work under the table for a quarter of what I pay my workers. Only a small number of the migrants have work permits, but that don't keep them from working. This is nuts, man. This is nuts. They had a city council meeting a couple nights ago in Chicago, and they let them have it. And that weasel, that Negro weasel, Brandon Johnson, he's just ignoring them. We near the end there, Toddster?
Yeah, you're, yes, you are.
Okay, well, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So hopefully we'll see you again next week. Inshallah, as the Hebrews say, good Lord willing. So until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men only mosque. Sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you. Head east and worship the meteorite in Mecca and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar.
Boom.
Boom.
Okay, squirrel emergency here. The neighbor next door, who I do not know, just cut down all the trees in their backyard where all the squirrel nests are.
Why wouldn't you know your neighbors? Boy, that's
So,
really out of character
They were here
for
all morning. It was very, very
crazy
loud.
old lesbian
and,
like you.
Now I don't know what's going to happen with all my squirrels.
Yeah, he's vice presidential material.
Great, Chaz.
Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you.
Or your
have the same
box of
power
wine.
that you did before November 5th.
Hey,
And you
give me
have
that
the
box
same
of wine.
purpose that you did.
Don't take that box from me.
And you have the same
Give me that box of wine.
ability to engage and inspire. So
Hey,
don't
yeah.
ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
Wait.
Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked, they're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Those who enter our country legally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law. And because we live in an age where terrorists are challenging our borders, we cannot allow people to pour into the U.S. undetected, undocumented, and unchecked.
Is asking how Democrats can pull the plug from the corrupt ruling class and reconnect with real Americans. He says this: the party would have to abandon the conceit that their opponents are either bigots or stupid, and they'd have to do so.